What's going on, everyone? My name's Eric, and today we are going to be revisiting my fully modded and rebuilt ESP LTD Alexi Laiho 200 series guitar. If you haven't seen the full video and the restoration of this guitar, make sure you go check it out up here. Now, if you have a keen eye, you would notice that I have changed out the bridge pickup. I initially rebuilt this guitar and threw in the EMG ALX set, which is an over-the-counter EMG Alexi Laiho collaboration product that captures his tone in a single unit. Although earlier this year, this company called Obsidian Coil hit me up and they said, hey, we love what you do and we love all the Bodum and the dime bag stuff that you are doing. We think you're gonna like this pickup. And they sent it over to me and they were just like, just check it out. We wanna get your opinion. So that's what we're gonna do. This is the Obsidian Coil WildChild, and if you couldn't tell from the name, it's based around Alexi Laiho's tone, except this is all in a single passive pickup, no preamp or anything like that. So the technical side of it and the barrier to entry, if you're trying to do a lot of these installs and these mod platforms on your own, is super easy by comparison to some of the other products where you have to pair up a passive pickup with an active preamp, and of course those are going to cost a little bit more as well. So this pickup, as I said earlier, is a passive pickup, 4-conductor wiring, so you can get some split coil tones if you'd like. It comes in a standard pickup configuration like this, but of course you can customize it to your heart's content. Also uses ceramic magnets just like all of the pickups that Alexi Laiho use. This pickup is also running at 12.1 k ohms of DC resistance, which kind of puts it in that medium to sort of hotter pickup territory. A little bit different than the lower output ceramic magnet PAF style pickups that Alexi was using with the onboard preamps to boost the signal even more before it even hit the amp. This pickup also retails for $100, but of course if you want to go crazy with custom options, that will run you a little bit more money as well. So now we are going to hear the WildChild and we are going to compare it to the EMG ALX set. I'm going to toggle between the preamp on and off for the ALX set, and then you're going to hear the WildChild just on its own, no preamp or anything like that, because this is how this pickup comes. So we're going to kind of go apples to apples, if you will, or at least apples to oranges. Let's get into it. Alright, so at the end of the day, I think you can't go wrong either way, but I was also very blown away by how different these pickups sound in certain aspects. I will say the EMG HZ-H2 pickup on its own did sound pretty weak in those DI files. HZ-H2 had this interesting quackiness, very high-end, accentuated tones that were coming from it. Not a lot of low end, almost had a single coil kind of quack to it. Very interesting, wasn't expecting that, but of course when you throw the preamp on, it just becomes a whole different pickup with a ton of gain. That is the stock setting that you get the pickup at. I didn't change anything. I want to keep this pretty apples to apples, if you will. outside of just putting it at the Alexi setting. Tons of gain, and I would recommend you just kind of back that down. The WildChild was very interesting on the other hand, had more low mids in the DI files. It kind of sounded a bit more musical and way more pleasant in the top end. Even in the distortion sound, like especially when I'm running like the Reaper suite and playing like with the exact Alexi Laiho tones, it sounded like the WildChild was, again, just a little bit more musical. It still cut very well. The ALX cut very well, but it seemed like this pickup was maybe just a little bit more friendlier to the ears, especially because it had maybe a bit more low mids and the top end wasn't so ice picky. It was just, again, a little bit nicer to listen to instead of a lot of the sharpness that came from the ALX. Now, depending on what you're going for, you can't go wrong either way. But in terms of like usability and maybe what the pickup is going to offer, if you want single coil tones and you want to have that Alexi Laiho style tone, this might be what you're going for because the EMG and the ABQ don't offer that. But if you want the preamp and you just want all the gain, you want a little bit more tonal flexibility with the preamp, then of course the ALX will give you that because this is just a pickup. So honestly, you can't go wrong either way. I'm gonna pull this out of this guitar and I'm gonna try it in like a baritone and tune it all the way down to like maybe G or something. I think this pickup is really gonna shine outside of the Alexi Laiho context, and I think it'll really shine when you tune down on it. So stay tuned for that. I'm gonna have some fun with this in another build. And that'll do it for today's video. Let me know all thoughts and opinions down below on the WildChild or even the EMG ALX set. If you wanna get the WildChild into your Alexi Laiho build, make sure you go hit up Obsidian Coil Works, link in the description. Just go message them on Instagram and they'll get you sorted right away. If you like this video, make sure you hit subscribe, leave a comment below, especially if you like all things Alexi Laiho and Children of Bodom, Dimebag, Zakk Wylde, guitar related. We do it all here. And if you are a returning subscriber, make sure you hit the bell so you don't miss a single video that I upload. Thanks for checking this out, and I'll see you next time.